morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this very special call. This is a call I've been looking forward to for a while because it is something that's very close to my heart when it comes to building a business. I see in business over the years, not just in network marketing, but also in traditional business, you know, mindset is such an important aspect of being successful. And there are many factors that can hold you back, the people around you, that kind of thing. And so it's really important that you have the belief levels you need to be able to go out there and make that difference and move forward. And it's not something that's easy to do. It really isn't, particularly if you're in an environment that's potentially negative or whatever. It is exceptionally difficult to do that, but it is achievable if you apply yourself. This is not something that will happen like that. It's going to take a while and practice and that kind of thing. But that's why coming on calls like this is so important. And, you know, I personally, over the years, have always fed my mind with positive stuff, read books, you know, business books, that kind of thing, which you'll be amazed. Often people think, oh, I don't want to read a business book, it's going to be really boring. Very rarely are they boring. They're actually usually really interesting, and they start to make you get an overview of what you're doing and the thought processes that you need to be successful. So this is really important. So we did the training the other day. By the way, the recording of the masterclass, the 4-hour masterclass on building the business using the Power Build system via LinkedIn is nearly ready. That will be hopefully out, or hopefully it's going to be this week. I need to just catch up with Ray just to find out where he's at with that. But that was the nuts and bolts. That was the system to enable you to go out there and build a business, or one of the ways you can do it, certainly from LinkedIn. This is about mindset. So you've got the tools. This is about having the right mindset to be able to go out there and use those tools consistently to achieve the success that you want. So today's speaker, Carol Mollica, is a very special lady. She's been in this field for a long time. She's a real expert. You know, her and her husband, Luke, who's next to her there, they work with companies and individuals and have been doing so for many years because, you know, again, companies understand that, you know, it's really important to have the right mindset for your staff to be able to see, you know, improvements in your business. So Carol has got a lot to share. And again, I must reiterate, this is one of the great features of network marketing as an industry, and certainly what we're doing here with CFX, is that you're getting world-class training from experts that would normally cost a lot of money, and you're getting it for free. So it's a real fantastic feature of this business that, you know, personal development, that kind of thing, is very much part of the business. So Carol's got some great things to share, and so I'll stop talking now and I'll pass you over to Carol.
Thank you so much, Richard. And I have to say, it's an absolute honour to be in front of all of you. I'm really excited. I'm a little nervous because this is, you know, this is the first time I've done a Zoom with this many people, but I'm definitely excited. You know, I'll probably throw some challenges out to you as well, but I want to get started. So the very first thing I want to talk about is the 5-step ultimate success formula. So if you want to take notes, feel free to do that. So again, in regard to mindset, it is so important to know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, you've got to have a good reason, but you've also got to decide. So this is the first thing. The first step to the ultimate success formula is to decide. So what is it you want, and what specifically is the outcome? What is the outcome that you're wanting as well? So, you know, right now, you know, you're in CFX and you're getting a team together, you know, whether you've been in it for a little while or you're just starting, you know, you've got to decide on the type of business you want and how big you want that business. And then you've got to step into the next step. And the next step is to actually plan it. So how am I going to do it? You know, what am I going to do? And planning is absolutely crucial when you are, building a business, especially like this. So how are you going to get it? How are you actually going to get what you want? And I know when, Luke and I are working out our goals in regard to our business, we actually put the big goal out there. So the big, hairy goal, what is it that we want? And then we actually chunk it right down. So in regard to this, and this is probably something that you've heard before, but sometimes when you hear things from someone else, it may just be planted in a different way. So you decide what it is you want, know your outcome, and then you start putting a plan together. Okay, so that may mean that, you've got to write things down. I'm a visual, and Luke and I have this great big whiteboard upstairs in our office, and we have every single thing written down that we want to achieve, and we have it chunked down. So we have our big yearly goal, then we have it chunked right down month by month by month, and then week by week, and then day by day. So again, that may mean, all right, I want this many people in my team by the end of the year. How many people do I need to talk to? How many people would I want to bring into my team every month? How many people do I need to bring into my team every day? And that is really, it's setting the plan. And then what we actually have to do is we have to take massive action. And when you are absolutely sure on your why, and and I will say this over and over, you've always got to go back to why. For what purpose am I doing this? For what purpose am I wanting this business? What is the purpose? How is it going to serve me? How is it going to help me and my family? And then it's about taking action, because at the end of the day, you can't just sit there and wait for it to happen. You've actually got to move. And when we're taking action, it's really good to, speak to those people who have gone before you. They've already done it. They're going to have the words of wisdom. And, this is why this community is so beautiful, because there are so many people out there who are willing to just jump in and help. And this is something that I really love to do. I actually love helping people, and it's just basically part of who we are. I will even help people who some may see as my competition. I don't see it. I just don't see it at all. The only person I'm in competition with is myself. Okay, so that's really important. So taking massive action, you've just got to move. You've got to really have this mindset that whatever I do is going to be successful. And at the end of the day, if you get a no, guess what? You are another step closer to a yes. And sometimes you just have to meet people where they're at. And after that, you have to then evaluate everything that you have done thus far. And then if it's not working, you've got to change it. So you've got to evaluate what is working and what isn't working. And once you know what is working and what isn't working, well, you keep going with the things that are working, and the things that are not working, well, you can either stop, change it up, do it a little bit differently, and then test it. And then the very last thing is change. And sometimes what you actually have to do is change your approach until you get exactly what you want. And another little shortcut to this is modeling, and that means just copying the habits of the people that have gone before you. Pick their brain and really sit down with them and ask the questions, because at the end of the day, you have to know exactly what to do. So if you're copying the habits and modeling the successful people, you create those habits yourself, and then those habits become your own. And success actually leaves clues. And so what we have to do is we actually have to sow the seeds, and then we get the results. And another thing that I say to a lot of my students is to have this mindset, and that mindset is to be deliberate, not desperate. And I hope that makes sense. Okay, so be deliberate and not desperate, because a lot of people will sense that. If you're really pushing, and you're coming across desperate, they're going to go, no, don't want a bar of it. I may not want to work with this person. So that is the 5-step ultimate success formula. Now, this part here, the grey zone, this is really, really interesting. And I know that Richard has spoken about this before, because we had a little bit of a chat earlier. And the grey zone is that area where things in life are just humming along. Okay, everything's humming along, everything's going okay, and you know all the good bits, you know the not so good bits. But basically, all you're doing is you're just getting on with life. And this is where the majority of society, or the majority of the population, actually sit. And they will sit there for their entire lives. And sometimes that is really hard to comprehend, especially if you're one of these people that is constantly doing and constantly looking for opportunity, because it takes a very special person, or a certain like-minded person, to want to do this a job or a business like we have here. So most people sit in this grey zone for their entire lives, and it's just really comfortable, and they don't want to change, or maybe they do, but they feel it's not really needed. So here's the thing. You've got your person sitting in their grey zone, and you say to them, how are you going? How are things? And you'll get a response like, oh, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I actually had someone say it's not too bad a little while ago, and I said, so what if it's not too good? And they went, oh, that's terrible. And I said, so when you say not too bad, what does that actually mean? Things are okay? And I actually challenged this person, and I said, you know what? From now on, why don't you just say things are great? Because when I hear someone say things are great, life is really good, I get really excited about that, because you don't hear that very, very often. So this grey zone is a really sticky place, and this is where they want to change, and like I said, they're just coasting along. Now, Jim Rohn actually said, for things to change, you have to change. I'm going to say that again. For things to change, you have to change. So people can easily make choices when things are really, really good. So looking at the slide here, the people will make choices, or they'll they will make changes when things are either really, really good or really, really bad. So an example here is if somebody was to win the lottery, they can make change easily. If someone was to, build this business to a point where they were making amazing income, which is all available to everyone here, you can change. You can change things because things are really good. You can buy a new car, you can buy a new house. You may even decide to, buy better food, change your diet. You may decide to join the gym, okay, because things are really, really good and you're in a position to make things even better. And then there's the flip side of the coin. And that flip side of the coin is a completely different scenario. And this is where you have to change because we're down the bottom here. Things are not so great and they're really bad. So an example of this would be someone that has lost their job. Now, when someone loses their job, that is quite painful. However, let's just say the person who lost their job had been talking for years and years and years about starting their own business. It's actually taken for things to get really, really bad for them to make that change. So I want to bring this back maybe to the people that you're talking to and just having an awareness of where they're at in their life. Things may be so good for them that this opportunity may seem like a no-brainer. Okay, things are really, really good. So being part of this business is going to actually enhance their life. And then there's the other side where you've got people who, may be struggling. Things might be really, really bad, but you can then offer them this opportunity to make things better. So there's two flips the sides of the coin. But right at this moment, when we're making those changes, we're actually making the decision to step up and take control. Because basically everyone who's here tonight, who's in this business, we do this because, there is so much uncertainty in the world right now. Why would we not want to take an opportunity and take control? And I want to share with you, something that happened to Luke and I. When prior to COVID, we were running live events, and I briefly spoke to Richard about this before I jumped on. So we were running live events, and I was completely in my comfort zone. I absolutely loved it. However, things sort of went like this, and we actually had to change our entire business model. And to be honest, I had actually said to Luke, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to change to online. And it's funny that, here I am talking to all of you, but I was happy. I was in my little grey zone and just humming along. And then in January, when the uncertainty erupted, we changed our model to live and online training. Well, today in Australia, where I am, we're in lockdown. And on Tuesday this coming week, we're running a 15-day event and our venue has closed. So it felt a little bit yucky for about 2 seconds, and then we went, no, you know what? we are going to stand up. We're still running the event. We're going to run it from home. All our students are going online. But this has forced us today to take different action. So we're, again, taking another leap of faith. And what I'm saying to you is, don't be afraid to take a leap of faith when you need to. So I want to bring this back again to, where we are right now. And when you're in that mindset that I want to do something different, I want to make some changes, you may have people in your life who really love you dearly and they think it's the best thing for you, but they will share their opinions. They will share their opinions, and it's almost like these people are afraid that, you're going to change so much that you're not going to be the same person. And that's about them. That's not about you. So it's also about having this awareness that people may say things like, don't leave your job. You'll never, ever find another one like it. Don't leave your job because you'll never get paid the same as that. Don't leave the relationship. No, don't worry. Things will actually get better. Or will they? And I remember this, and I wanted to share this with you, is that, when I was leaving my first husband, my mother said to me, no, don't do that. That's, don't leave. It'll get better. What about the children? And I said, well, that's why I'm leaving, for them, so that I'm going to be a better parent. So sometimes they do it for selfish reasons, and they want to keep you stuck in the little box. And I'm sure you've all heard this one: don't join a network marketing business, it's a scam. Okay, you've all heard it. But this is about just getting through it and knowing your why. This is about going back to your why. For what purpose am I doing this? For what purpose do I want to do this business, and why do I want to share it? Okay, and I'm going to share something about that in a little bit. But if you want to up-level your life, you absolutely have to step outside of that grey zone or that comfort zone. But you also need to understand that you may leave people behind. And that's part of growth. Okay, you're either growing or you're dying. That is the absolute truth. And don't be afraid to leave people behind, because the people that you leave behind, they're probably not your people anyway. And then you actually will find a new, society, community of like-minded people. Because I know that as we were building our business, when we first started, we had all of these people around us going, yes, you can do it. I'm so proud of you, yada, yada, yada. But when we started to grow, then people started to fall away, and that was perfectly okay. They weren't our people anymore. And you've got to associate yourself with people who are going to encourage you, people who are going to lift you up. And you also need people around you that, like I said, that have gone before you, so that you can model, take everything that they've done, and then turn that into your own. So without change, there is absolutely no growth whatsoever. And you cannot grow and stay the same. I'm going to say that again. You cannot grow and stay the same. And with growth, it's not always comfortable. So what we have to do is we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable to then get comfortable. Okay, so you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable to then get comfortable. So I hope that all made sense. Now, I also want to touch on these pesky little things called limiting beliefs. And the limiting beliefs are the things that you believe about yourself that hold you back. And sometimes, and this is where you've got to really sit and identify these things, because they really do hold you back. And the limiting beliefs are sometimes put on you way before you even remember. So an example may be that you don't feel good enough to be successful. Okay, you're afraid of success. If I have someone come to me, like a client or a student or anyone that I'm working with, and they say to me, I can't do this, or I'm not this, so I can't build a business, I'm not good enough, I actually turn around to them and I say, well, when did you decide that? So if any of you here tonight have little limiting thoughts, I want you to ask yourself, when did you actually decide that? Because our limiting beliefs often come from our environment and our upbringing. You know, the people that were in charge of us when we were little. And sometimes those people don't really understand the damage that they do. And I always say to my clients that, you know, if we're talking about people from their past, I always say, you know, people do the best they can with the resources that they have available. But you've got to really understand that, you know, you've got to identify what those limiting beliefs are, and then you actually need to find someone to talk it out. Okay, so if it's around the business, this is where you actually, you know, you can get in touch with your person who's brought you into the business and really talk about it and sit down and hash out, well, what is it? What is the problem? What is the challenge? Because a limiting belief is always preceded by a decision. And that's why I ask, when did you decide that? Because when you decide something, it then becomes a belief, and then the belief becomes our reality. Okay, so the things that we believe to be true, we project that out, okay, and then it becomes our reality. So it's really important to, again, be around like-minded people who have done the things before you, who have had all the problems, and they've probably had the same thoughts as well. But, you know, you've got freedom on one side, and then you've got the things that limit you on the other. So, you know, it's sort of like, well, which road do you want to actually go down? Okay, next slide. All right. I hope this is helping. I hope this is valuable for you. So the next thing I wanted to cover was the 8 fundamental character traits of success. Now, the very, very first thing that you actually need is to have passion. Okay, you've got to, and this again, this goes back to your why. Okay, why am I doing this? For what purpose? And passion actually gives your life power, it gives it juice, and it gives it meaning. And I can tell you right now, there is no greatness without passion to be great. Okay, there is no greatness without passion to be great. The next one is hunger. And sometimes you've got to be hungry to be successful. And if you look at the people in this business who are super, super successful, I bet they have been hungry from day one. They've actually seen this and they've gone, you know what, I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it. And when you're hungry, that means you are obsessively thinking about your goals and the way you want your life to be consistently every day. You wake up and you are absolutely charged to achieve your goals. And when you don't get what you want, you just go, okay, next, let's go. You will not want to even stop. And that's what hunger is all about. It's actually getting up, getting knocked down and getting back up again. And you're always constantly thinking about the next step, the next step, the next step. And, you know, this is where, you know, your mindset comes in, because there are people who will get knocked down one time and they quit. But you've got to be really hungry. You've got to really want it. And there are so many examples of success in this entire group. Now, the next thing you need is belief. You actually have to have belief and passion to provide the fuel that is then going to steer you towards excellence. And you must set the unlimited beliefs about yourself. Okay, we're not looking at the things that limit us, we're looking at the beliefs that unlimit us, because what you become is what you believe. And like I said in the last slide, what you become actually becomes your reality. So belief is absolutely crucial. Number 3 is a strategy. You've got to have a strategy, and that is the way of organising resources. And having a strategy is the fastest way to success. And the best strategy is the one I spoke about before, the strategy to model others who have succeeded before you. Because success leaves clues. And number 4 is clarity of values. So our values are the things that are important to us, and they are the fundamental ethical and moral evaluations that we make about what is most important in our lives. And it is only, you know, when you are committed to your values and you stand for your values and everything that you believe in, this is where you will be successful, because that means if you stand in your values and you live every day by the things that are important to you, that means that your life is going to be happy and fulfilled. And every single decision that you make is going to be based on your values. Values are absolutely crucial. Our number 5 is energy. And people of excellence all have energy. People of excellence take opportunities and they run with them. They take an opportunity and they absolutely maximize that as its full potential. And energy is what is required to, to execute everything that you need to do to become a success. Now, number 6 is rapport and bonding power. So this is all about the ability to connect with people at the deepest level. Okay, connecting with people at the deepest level. And when you can connect with people on a really deep level, you also have what is required to influence them to get exactly what you want in the world. And I actually teach a whole section around rapport at our training. But when you're in rapport with someone, if you're people who are like people. So getting into rapport and being like people, it's bonding power. So that is very important to being able to be an influence in people's lives. And number 7 is mastery of communication. Now, mastery of communication allows you to get exactly what you want. And people who have succeeded, or all people who have succeeded, learn to turn their adversities into opportunities. And the people who shape our lives and culture also have the ability to communicate a vision and also a mission. So the quality of your life, this is really important, the quality of your life is based on your internal and external communications. So these traits, all of these traits, are what is found in successful people, the most successful people on the planet. So, you know, I've listed here Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Martin Luther King, Michael Jordan, and a whole host of others. So I hope that has been helpful to you. But I also have another slide that I wanted to share. And I actually have one more thing that I want to share before I finish up. But the me I see is the me I'll be. The team we see is the team we'll be. And it's going to be because of me. The best is yet to be. So the very last thing I want to share with you is about being in alignment with the goals that you have. And you may want to write this down in regard to who are you going to be? What things need to finish? What things need to be maintained? And what things do you need to start? So what things this year need to finish for you to be successful? So what habits, what belief systems, what relationships, what behaviours, what needs to finish for this year for you to be successful? And some examples may even be putting things off, or procrastinating, or worrying about what other people think, or maybe spending too much time on social media. Who knows? But what do you need to finish right now to help you move on to be successful? Second question, what do you need to maintain for you to be successful in 2021? What habits, what beliefs, what systems, what relationships and behaviours need to be maintained for you to be successful? So you may need to maintain connection with friends, with colleagues. You may need to maintain the connection that you have with your team. You may need to maintain attending all of these trainings, but only you have the answers to this. And the next one is, what do you need to start? What do you need to start right now, today, that is going to set you on the road to be successful? What habits do you need to start? What belief systems? What relationships? What behaviours? So what may need to start? You may need to, or you may decide that you may need to start doing some exercise in the morning. You may decide that you want to maximize more of your time. You want to start getting up early. You may want to start today getting out of your comfort zone. You may want to start reading more books. And I want to share with you one book that Luke and I tell everyone about, and some of you may have read it already, but it is called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Absolutely brilliant book, and it talks about the genius zone and leveling up to be successful. And the last thing that I do want to share with you is your environment has to support your growth. So making sure that you are always in proximity of people who will always be there to support you. Wow, that went really fast. So I hope that that was helpful for you all. And again, I just want to say a big thank you to Richard for allowing me to come and speak to you all tonight.
Thanks very much, Carol. That was a brilliant training. And, as I said at the beginning of the call, mindset is such an important part of being successful. If you talk to anyone that's achieved success, you'll see very similar traits. And often it's people from all walks of background. Doesn't matter what your background is or whatever, you can change. So today's call is literally just the start of the 10, if you like. It's just giving you some ideas on, where you can, take things with not just CFX, but life in general. And one of the things that Carol kept coming back to, and it is something that's, again, very close to my heart, is fill your mind with positivity and things like reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. One of the things you were talking about, Carol, was rapport and bonding. There's a fantastic book called How to Make Friends and Influence People, which is such an important part of this. I mean, the thing about CFX is not a business where we go out there and try and convince people. It's a business of just showing people, but being able to create rapport and that kind of thing is an important skill set. Everything's a skill set. You learn as you go along. So everything is just, a journey. One of the limiting beliefs, by the way, something I come across a lot, is that successful stroke rich people are bad people. That, in my experience, is actually not the case at all. They're usually the complete opposite. Going out there helping people, paying into charities and all sorts of things like that. So often I think people use that limiting belief as a thing that I don't want to be a bad person, as a way of making an excuse for not becoming successful yourself. That's really not the case. So once again, this business is a great leveler. Network marketing as an industry is a great leveler. If you decide that you want to become successful, it doesn't matter what your background is, you just have to go to work. The same setbacks, the same things that hold you back are exactly the same for every single person. Doesn't matter what your background is. You could be a successful business person, for example. Doesn't matter. You still get people saying no to you. You still get the same disappointments, that kind of thing, as you're building your business. It's just having the correct mindset to just keep moving forward. So this call really is, as I said, just a starter, just give you an idea. Of course, I mean, Carol's courses normally go into tremendous depth over a long period of time. We can't do that in 45 minutes, but it will just give you some ideas to look at and move forward. So I hope you found that helpful, guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I look forward to seeing you on the training next Saturday. So thanks for coming on board.